So 6 years back, I renovated my dad's house. That was a nightmare because what I realized is even though you set out on a budget and a clear idea of what you want to do, you can never get it done because it takes so long for these construction projects to get over. So when I decided to build this new house, I wanted to use a technology which has got maximum automation in construction so that my reliance on labor is reduced.
We explored different systems like gypsum paneling, cold and hot rolled steels, and finally we came to EPS panel systems. Being a waterfront site, one reason for choosing EPS panel was that it does not absorb moisture like other conventional materials like cement or laterite blocks or brick blocks. It is fire resistant, heat resistant, very lightweight, very easy to install, and brings down the cost also. So we have kept the material palette very simple. Composite panels made from rice husk for the external pathways and furniture. Mr. Daniel took a sample from the vendors and he put it in the water for almost 2-3 months to see whether it will actually work in the exterior. And we found out that it did not affect the material at all.
The biggest cost in a house maintenance is power. So this house was built or designed in such a way by my architect with a very high ceiling and where the wind would flow across the house and the heat would get dispensed so that there was no necessity for an air condition. But what happened is with global warming, the overall temperature around the land itself was very hot. And plus the wet bulb temperature was high because of high humidity because we are staying closer to the lake. So you had no choice but to put an air condition inside. The walls that are built here are insulated with EPS. So there's no heat coming from outside inside, and the glasses here was also using double glazed glass and laminated glass so that we protected the heat from coming in. We could reduce close to 50% usage of AC because of this technology. So when I put an AC, this had a possibility of increasing my cost of running the house. So to offset that, I set up a floating solar panel because of two reasons. One is you do not have a shade or a shadow, and also the water below keeps the panel cooler. So now my weekend home is completely supported by the power that I generate from these floating solar panels.
Both my husband and I grew up in farms way back in the 80s, and we wanted to recreate the way of life we followed then, live off the land. And we wanted to recreate that in today's time using our technology.
Self-sustenance starting with power, then went on to use rainwater. I decided to build a large tank and store the rainwater in this tank. When I built this tank, I realized that you also need a water treatment plant because rainwater cannot be directly used. So we created a very low-cost water treatment plant which will treat this water. So whenever I don't get water from the panchayat, I process this water and use it. Once we started storing water, then I said, we should use rainwater for everything. We set up a hydroponic plants here. So this is something which my wife does. We have our vegetables produced from this, and we use this same rainwater for the hydroponics. And hydroponics takes very little water. The only water that is lost is the evaporation.
And the beauty of it is the entire house, be it for cooking, be it for our bathing purposes, we're using this water. Even the pool that we have, we are growing fish from this.
I like fresh fish, but I said I should take to the next level, and why not try live fish? My dream was whenever a friend comes, I could catch a fish right from the lake or get it from the cage farm, and then we could clean it up and do barbecue. connecting with nature is about that. When you are able to be, with nature and, experience that nature with family and friends. This was built basically to meet with friends, families, to have everybody spend time together. It was essential that it was not, we wanted a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom house because, we don't have people here with the objective of coming and staying here to sleep only. It's basically to spend time together.
Every space can transform at different times of the day and according to the needs. We have a free living room that opens towards a deck. Also, the kitchen opening towards the deck. The deck is the heart of the design, where people can gather, maybe for a midnight barbecue or even for a quiet yoga session in the morning.
On the onset, when my husband decided to build a weekend home, he also wanted to use his engineering skills to solve the problems of climate change and actually create a prototype on how to adapt to the existing conditions. In that process, knowingly or unknowingly, we stumbled upon the fact that if we live aligned to nature, if we align ourselves to our truest version, and if we are honest enough to address the challenges around us, we can actually find peace and happiness.